Hi, this is Teresa again, and I'm just going to touch on two really important features in a camera. And these are really the two things that helped me elevate my work and really understand how these things work together can help you become a better photographer. So first, I'm just going to explain what the aperture is. The aperture is a hole in the camera that allows the light to come in. You probably can't see that here, but this is a wide open aperture, and this is a very small aperture. So understanding that setting, so this is at 22 f-stop, okay? That would be the size of the aperture. That's small, okay? So put on the more like that. And then it gets bigger the smaller the number gets. That will allow the maximum amount of light to enter the frame. Okay? Now, the shutter speed. You can actually increase this, meaning make it even faster than that. I'm just giving you an example. You could have a shutter speed that's 1/30th of a second, or you could have a shutter speed that's 3 seconds. Obviously, if it's 1/30th of a second, it's going to allow less light to enter the frame because less time has passed, right? So the shutter speed is picking the correct shutter speed is going to allow you to get the correct effect that you're trying to achieve. If you don't want any motion blur in your images, then you need to have a very quick shutter speed. If it's too slow, then, and you're taking a picture of someone who's moving, you're actually going to see that person's hand moving in the picture. Now that could be an effect that you want to have happen. For aperture, so this is going to be time and crisp or blurry, right? For aperture, it's depth of field. Aside from just the light, right? That's going to affect the depth of field. Now, the depth of field is the focal range of the image. So if you have a very large aperture, what's going to be in focus is going to be a really small distance in your frame. Meaning, if I take a picture of a person and I'm focusing on their eye, if my aperture is as wide as possible, for the most part, that eye is going to be extremely crisp, and everything else, and the further it gets away, is going to be blurry or have a soft focus. That's really ideal when you're doing portraits. It makes your person look very attractive. If you're doing a landscape, let's say, and you really want everything to be clear from the beginning of the frame and all the way through the distance of the frame, then you're going to want a very small aperture. That's going to make everything super crisp and in focus, okay? Now, these two things in conjunction, you need to have a balance when you're metering. And you can use the meter in your camera to make sure that the proper amount of light is entering the camera based on these two items in conjunction. And based on the effect that you're trying to get, you will need to adjust those two things.